right now on 15 News Now.
I'm tracking the threat of some thunderstorms for your Tuesday.
We all feel it. The pain at the pump is continuing, and how the race in America is being compared in the George Zimmerman case. Plus, the city of Detroit is defending their decision to file for bankruptcy. 15 News Now starts right now.
Coverage you can count on. 15 News Now starts now.
The pain at the pump is not easing up any. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Fred Dawkins. Our top story on 15 News Now, the average price for a gallon of gas is $3.67, which is up 18 cents a gallon since the beginning of last month. Now, the cause is a mix of problems in the Middle East and due to an increase in demand for gas in the summertime. All of this comes as America is producing a record amount of domestic oil, but a shortage of pipeline means it's too expensive to move that oil to consumers here in the U.S. So instead, it's going overseas. A worker on a strawberry farm tries to seek shade but dies before he gets there. A landscaper collapses in his company truck on a blazing summer day, and medics cannot revive him. Federal officials are sharing those stories of deaths to raise awareness of the risks of working outside during the types of hot, humid days that are so common in the Sunshine State. Dr. David Michaels with the Occupational Safety and Health Administration says heat-related deaths and injuries can be prevented.
Water, rest, shade. If outdoor workers take these precautions, it can mean the difference between life and death.
OSHA says employers have a duty to protect workers and develop a hot weather plan when temperatures top 90 degrees. That includes providing plenty of water, rest, and shade. Signs of heat illness include fatigue, nausea, muscle cramps, confusion, and shortness of breath. The director of the National Weather Service, Dr. Louis Evacheni, says more extreme heat is expected this summer, and workers and employers should prepare.
Heat is a silent killer. Unlike such hazards as damaging winds or flooding, many people often don't even recognize they are in trouble until they need medical assistance.
OSHA reports most outdoor workers who die because of heat stress are in their first week of a new job and have not had time to adjust to the conditions. According to the Florida Department of Health, more than 3,000 people are seen in emergency rooms every year for heat-related illnesses. Well, Sunday afternoon was busy for police and EMS crews as a multi-vehicle crash on I-10 caused some headaches. A car and a Ford SUV in two separate eastbound lanes slowed down for an accident that had just happened ahead of them. The other vehicles slammed into those vehicles. At one point, a Saturn SUV went airborne and then overturned on its roof. A total of 7 vehicles were involved in the multiple crash. No one was seriously hurt. Monsoon rains brought torrential flooding to parts of Arizona on Sunday. The heavy rains left part of Highway 60 in the Phoenix area underwater. Cars became stuck and were almost covered up to their roofs in water as roads turned into rivers. Several motorists who were trapped in their vehicles had to be rescued when they tried to drive through floodwaters. In Tucson, 3 children, ages 8, 10, and 12, were rescued after being caught in a flash flood while playing in a wash that wasn't running. Authorities found them stuck on a sandbar. Homeowners were flooded out as well. Resident Flavia Easley estimated that she had 5 feet of water in her basement.
To see a wall of water coming toward you, there's nothing you can do. I have 2 8-foot glass doors, and the water just started rising. Water started coming in around the sides, and 2 minutes after that, the doors burst open, and a wall of water came through my basement.
Well, speaking about the weather, here's our chief meteorologist, Dustin Kopp. And Dustin, what's our forecast look like?
Good evening, Fred. Good evening, everybody. Temperatures today have been on the warm side. They're going to continue to be on the warm side this evening. And we're also going to continue to see that chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm throughout the Big Bend. 83 degrees at 7 p.m. By 9 p.m. down about 77 and 76 degrees by midnight. Will we continue to see these temperatures fall, or will they still be on the warm side for your Tuesday? I'll have all the details coming up later in your Storm Tracker weather forecast.
And when we come back on 15 News Now, how the race in America is being compared in the George Zimmerman case. That story coming up on 15 News Now.
I needed coverage that I could afford, so I called ICANN.
When I lost my job, I needed health benefits from my family, so I called ICANN.
With my history, I couldn't get health insurance, so I called ICANN.
Going without health insurance? One call can change it all. Rates too high? You've been turned down, or just need to save money. ICANN has plans to meet your needs, no matter your income. We have plans that include coverage for doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital stays, surgery, emergency room visits, and the list goes on. But wait, there's more. ICANN has programs that connect you with licensed doctors round the clock from wherever you are. And as a special bonus, if you call right now, we'll send you a no-cost, no-obligation Humana prescription drug savings card just for calling.
That's a savings of up to 50% off your prescriptions at 54,000 participating pharmacies nationwide.
You're watching 15 News Now with Fred Dawkins and Dustin Kopp. 15 News Now continues.
More than a week after neighborhood watchman George Zimmerman was acquitted in the death of Trayvon Martin, famed neurosurgeon Dr. Benjamin Carson is weighing in on the debate about race in America. In his weekend analysis on Fox News, Carson encouraged the country to tone down the rhetoric and to realize we are not each other's enemies.
So often we take any kind of situation that occurs today in America and we get on the different sides of it and we hurl hand grenades at each other rather than engaging in intelligent discussion. This is what we need to do. Do we have a perfect system? Absolutely not. Does everybody think about things the right way? Absolutely not. But we're never going to get there if we continue to make ourselves into enemies.
Zimmerman is the man accused of killing an unarmed black teenager in self-defense. Craft store giant Hobby Lobby has won another victory against Obamacare's birth control mandate. A federal judge granted the retailer a temporary exemption Friday. Obamacare requires employers to provide the morning after pill and birth control free of charge to their employees or pay a fine. The Christian family that owns Hobby Lobby argues that it violates their conscience. CEO Steve Green said he never thought he'd have to sue the federal government to run his business according to his Christian faith.
We love this country and the freedoms it stands for, and would never have imagined that we'd be in a position where we would be required to do something that would violate our conscience.
There are now more than 60 separate lawsuits challenging the birth control mandate. Students will soon be getting free breakfast and lunch at a local district. The Taylor County School District Board has approved such a measure for students next school year. Director of Finance Ashley Valentine explains to 15 News Now what prompted the change.
This past year, the school food service was moved out from under the Department of Education umbrella, and now we're actually under USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture. And it's actually offered through that group.
Ashley says that a lot of the students in the district already receive free or reduced lunches, so this is something that would only make sense.
Basically what happens is because our district is high poverty level and we have such a large amount of what they call direct certification students, which are students that are automatically free without even having to fill out a free or reduced lunch application.
Ashley does note that the district is still filling out the proper paperwork for the program. Information will be sent out to parents in the near future. An 18-year-old man is facing an arson charge for allegedly setting a fire in Hernando County Library. Police arrested Joseph Brannon on Sunday and charged him with 1 count of arson. His bond was set at $3,000. Firefighters were called to the East Hernando Branch Library in Brooksville on July 6th to put out a small fire. While no one was hurt, the smoke activated the building's sprinkler system, damaging much of the inventory. Since the fire, the library has remained closed for repairs. Coming up next on 15 News Now, the city of Detroit is defending their decision to file for bankruptcy. That story coming up on 15 News Now.
Health insurance update.
This just in for all uninsured Americans with or without pre-existing conditions. The recent health care bill will not take effect until at least 2014, leaving families and individuals lacking health insurance with no immediate solution to their concerns. Meanwhile, medical problems continue to be the #1 cause of bankruptcies. Here's the good news. A health insurance hotline has been established to provide affordable health insurance for all uninsured Americans, and yes, uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Call the number on your screen now, and in less than 10 minutes, you could receive a choice of affordable plans from the Hotline Network. This is not a discount card. You will have access to doctors, hospitals, dental care, infant care, and emergency services. Call the Health Insurance Hotline now and get you and your family covered today.
Call 800-794-0825. That's 800-794-0825. Call now.
Detroit city officials spent the weekend defending their decision to file for bankruptcy. Last week, Detroit became the largest U.S. city to take that step, but a state judge blocked the move. Officials say Detroit needs a second chance to restructure and get past a financial crisis that's 60 years in the making. Charlene Israel has more.
When a city as large as Detroit fails, it doesn't happen overnight.
I mean, a lot of this debt, a lot of the practices that I put forward in my June 14th report that talked about deferrals, unfunded obligations, borrowings, addiction to debt, even a level of corruption from 2002 to 2008, which was significant, have created this problem.
Emergency manager Kevin Orr was hired back in March to fix Detroit's debt problem. He warned then that there was a 50-50 chance of a bankruptcy filing. Now that warning is a reality.
We don't have a choice. We've crossed the Rubicon on the level we have 18 to 19 billion dollars in debt and no funding mechanism for it. So this is a question of necessity.
Public pensions are one of the city's major problems. Detroit has 18,000 retired public workers who are still owed pension and health benefits. But the funding for that program is under by about $3.5 billion. Governor Rick Snyder says enough is enough. He says retiree pensions have hampered state and city budgets. Now it's time for public workers to pay more of their health care costs. And it turns out Detroit is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to cities in financial danger. A Pew survey shows that 61 major cities across the nation are in similar circumstances. The Detroit Free Press points out they share a $217 billion shortfall. That comes from unfunded pension and health care liabilities. It's not clear if any of them will take the same step as Detroit. But Detroit Mayor Dave Bing says he hopes their bankruptcy filing will be a new start.
Detroit is a very iconic city worldwide, and our people will fight through this, and we will come back.
The mayor doesn't expect much help in the way of bailout money from the federal government. Both Bing and Governor Snyder say Detroit created their money problems, and now it's up to them to find a way out.
I've gotten great support from this administration. I've got great support from a lot of the different departments within the administration. They've been helpful, but now that we've done our bankruptcy filing, I think we've got to take a step back and see what's next.
Charlene Israel reporting. The city faces a massive legal fight. Detroit owes about $18 billion to 100,000 creditors, and not everyone is going to get paid. An Orlando man has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for his part in a drug robbery in Tallahassee that left his cousin dead. A Leon County judge sentenced 20-year-old Denzel Billings Harrison this past week. He was convicted in May of second-degree felony murder and 2 counts of armed robbery. Court documents show that Billings Harrison and his cousin, Jamel Keel, also attempted to buy marijuana in February 2012 from 3 other men at the Shaker Heights apartments. After the men realized the cousins were trying to pay with counterfeit money, a fight broke out. 3 Miami men are in trouble with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission after being caught with a 73 gray snapper. The limit is 5 per person. The wildlife officials alerted the Monroe County Sheriff's Office early on Monday about the catch, and deputies started looking for a silver Honda Pilot heading northbound in the Florida Keys. Deputies stopped the vehicle at the 104-mile marker in Key Largo. The men told deputies they'd been on a party boat out of the Marathon and had fish from the boat in 2 coolers. They opened the coolers and showed deputies 73 fish, 58 over the limit for 3 people. The men were cited for fishing violations. One man has died and another is recovering after a car crash into a Hyla bus stop and then fled. The crash happened around 9:30 p.m. on Sunday. Authorities say one of the men was hit with such force that he was thrown into the drive-thru of a nearby Palo Tropical restaurant. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A 24-year-old man lost both legs in the crash and was taken to a local hospital in critical condition. Police are still investigating.
Next in weather, have your latest Storm Tracker weather forecast. Will we see any thunderstorms on your Tuesday? Details when we come back.
Mom! Mom?
This mom was lucky that her daughter happened to stop by. Can your mom or dad reach a phone in such an emergency? The solution is Life Alert. Life Alert saves a life from a catastrophe every 11 minutes.
Linda, thank you for finding Life Alert for me. I feel much safer having it.
Whenever my mother needed help, Life Alert was there.
Because of Life Alert, my mother's life was saved.
Life Alert definitely saved my mother-in-law's life that day. There's no doubt about it.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. That's 1-800-821-5206. Call now, 1-800-821-5206. For a free brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. 1-800-821-5206.
Here is your Storm Tracker forecast.
And welcome back. Right now we have mostly cloudy sky and a temperature of 86 degrees, but it feels like a 91 right now. Current dew point 71 with about 58% humidity and a southwest wind at 9 miles per hour. Throughout the Big Bend, look at our weather headlines. We're going to continue to see those showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures definitely on the warm side as well, hovering around that 90-degree mark, and those showers and thunderstorms will continue to be heavy at times, so be prepared for that. All right, here's what the big picture looks like. We do have showers and thunderstorms across the Big Bend and pretty much the entire portion of the United States where Florida and northern portions go. We're going to be talking about showers and thunderstorms continuing for some time here in the next several days. Forecast, if you're heading out and about this evening, we're definitely going to see the possibility of some showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures on the warm side, 83 degrees at 7 p.m., 77 by 9. By midnight, temperature of 76. For tonight, low around, it's going to be on the warm side, that's for sure. We're going to see lows in the lower 70s for most areas. Low around 74 with showers and thunderstorms likely. Southwest wind 5 to 10. For tomorrow, more showers and thunderstorms, high around 90 with a southwest wind 10 to 15. Looking ahead the next several days in the big 7-day forecast. Wednesday, thunderstorms likely 91. Showers and thunderstorms likely on Thursday, high at 90, near 90 for Friday and Saturday with more thunderstorms. Scattered thunderstorms in nature Sunday and Monday. Temperature of 85 on Sunday, Monday 88 degrees. Don't forget you can get the latest weather information at our website. That's Don't forget you can get the latest weather information at our website, WSFD15.com.
Kids are resilient. They bounce back. But is this really true when it comes to divorce? Parents will want to catch today's Focus on the Family with Dr. Bill Mayer.
I'm Stacy Johnson. You certainly wouldn't set off on a trip without knowing where you were going or how you were going to get there. And that's especially true if your destination is a happy retirement. Want to avoid retirement planning mistakes? We're just ahead on Money Talks News.
I can't travel. I can't sit for very long. I can't stand for very long. I can't sleep. It's difficult to find any joy. It's unbelievable how just a few months of taking Nopalea, how it's changed my life, how much better I feel. You just get a total appreciation, new appreciation for life that I haven't had in so long.
With over 8 million bottles of Nopalea sold, we know it will work for you. Pick up the phone and call now. Learn how to get your 32-ounce bottle of Nopalea free. You'll also receive the Secret Killer Special Report that talks about the dangers associated with inflammation and an audio CD that explains the science behind the Nopal Superfruit.
I just know it worked, and it helped me, and it'll help you too.
Get on the road to wellness now.
I needed coverage that I could afford, so I called ICANN.
When I lost my job, I needed health benefits from my family, so I called ICANN.
With my history, I couldn't get health insurance, so I called ICANN.
Going without health insurance? One call can change it all. Rates too high? You've been turned down, or just need to save money. ICANN has plans to meet your needs, no matter your income. We have plans that include coverage for doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital stays, surgery, emergency room visits, and the list goes on. But wait, there's more. ICANN has programs that connect you with licensed doctors round the clock from wherever you are. And as a special bonus, if you call right now, we'll send you a no-cost, no-obligation Humana prescription drug savings card just for calling.
That's a savings of up to 50% off your prescriptions at 54,000 participating pharmacies nationwide.
So don't wait. Call ICANN right now.
Divorce touches more homes than ever before these days, but the effect of that on kids is often minimized by those who say it's not that big of a deal, that kids bounce back just fine. Dr. Bill Meyer explores that idea in today's Focus on the Family.
We were called into the living room of the house, and Mom was on one side and Dad was over on the other, and my sister and I were on the floor, and they told us that they were going to get divorced and asked, so who would you like to live with?
That's the kind of memory that leaves a lifelong scar. It happened decades ago, but George still remembers it like it was yesterday.
I was just shocked. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Some experts say that kids are resilient, that they'll adjust, and they can. But long-term research shows that divorce continues to negatively impact kids many years after the fact.
It's a sense of loss and grief, and kids may not necessarily verbalize it, but they will demonstrate that in their behavior. Some may become more aggressive, others may withdraw.
In talking with adults that have come from divorced homes, I have yet to find one that was not deeply affected emotionally for many, many years.
Another common myth surrounding kids and divorce is that if the parents are always arguing, it's healthier for the kids if they just go ahead and split up.
Even when we had our struggles early in our marriage, divorce was not an option. We had to work it through, and even when I had my doubts, he said there's no choice. We have to figure something out.
So when conflict comes up, what a wonderful example to be is that people can sit down and work it out.
Every marriage will have highs and lows because romantic love, like all emotions, will ebb and flow over time. Commitment is the true source of stability in a marriage. Unfortunately, our culture often sends the message that if romantic feelings have disappeared, then so should you.
In some ways it gets to be glamorized in magazines and movies, but that it's okay. There's no real big problem. But they don't really begin to reflect the damage that gets done to a lot of kids and families.
The feeling of abandonment, rejection, the desperation, it left a hole inside of me.
Commitment is a choice a couple needs to make every day of their marriage. And divorce hurts kids for life. I'm Dr. Bill Meyer for Focus on the Family.
Dr. Meyer also points out that due to the financial strain divorces cause, kids often lose not only the parent who moves out, but they lose a lot of time with the remaining parent who now has to work longer and harder to pay the bills. For more valuable information on life's issues, relationships, and family, visit our website, WSFD15.com, and click on the Focus on the Family link. Preparing for retirement takes a lot of planning, but there can be some pitfalls. Money expert Stacy Johnson shows us some retirement planning mistakes you should avoid.
Are you confident your golden years will be golden? A survey from the Employee Benefit Research Institute reveals only 13% of Americans are very confident they'll be able to afford a comfortable retirement. You know, we're all traveling toward retirement. Some of us are closer than others, but getting there requires a plan. Something that, according to a recent survey, 40% of Americans don't even have. Failing to plan. It's not going to take you where you want to go. Mistake number 2, not getting on board soon enough. The earlier you start saving, the better your odds of success. Next, not packing a retirement plan. Use your plan at work, especially if your employer offers matching money. Another roadblock on the way to retirement is risk. Don't take any and you may never reach your savings destination. Take too much, and you could crash your savings. Understanding investments. That's the key to bagging the right return. Another potential problem? Relying on Social Security to take you there. Use the free calculator at ssa.gov to see what you can expect. If it's not going to be enough, the sooner you find out, the better. And finally, underestimating retirement cost. For example, healthcare may be much more than you expect. Bottom line, we're all on this trip together. But if you want your destination to be a pleasant one, you need to avoid retirement planning mistakes. Got a lot more information waiting for you right here at moneytalksnews.com. Just go there and do a search for retirement. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacy Johnson.
As Stacy said, he's got more information and links at his website. To get there, just go to our website, WSFD15.com. Click on the Money Talks link under the Lifestyles menu.
Mom! Mom?
This mom was lucky that her daughter happened to stop by. Can your mom or dad reach a phone in such an emergency? The solution is Life Alert. Life Alert saves a life from a catastrophe every 11 minutes.
Linda, thank you for finding Life Alert for me. I feel much safer having it.
Whenever my mother needed help, Life Alert was there.
Because of Life Alert, my mother's life was saved.
Life Alert definitely saved my mother-in-law's life that day. There's no doubt about it.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. That's 1-800-821-5206. Call now, 1-800-821-5206. For a free brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. 1-800-821-5206.
I needed coverage that I could afford, so I called ICANN.
When I lost my job, I needed health benefits from my family. So I called ICANN.
With my history, I couldn't get health insurance, so I called ICANN.
Going without health insurance? One call can change it all. Rates too high? You've been turned down, or just need to save money. ICANN has plans to meet your needs, no matter your income. We have plans that include coverage for doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital stays, surgery, emergency room visits, and the list goes on. But wait, there's more. ICANN has programs that connect you with licensed doctors round the clock from wherever you are. And as a special bonus, if you call right now, we'll send you a no-cost, no-obligation Humana prescription drug savings card just for calling.
That's a savings of up to 50% off your prescriptions at 54,000 participating pharmacies nationwide.
So don't wait. Call ICANN right now.
This is Sports Zone.
Florida Gators linebacker Antonio Morrison was arrested for the second time in 5 weeks this past Saturday after allegedly barking at a Gainesville police dog and resisting arrest. Florida head coach Will Muschamp said Morrison, a sophomore who is projected to be the team's starting middle linebacker, will miss at least the first 2 games of the season after being suspended from the team Sunday. Caleb Gindy hit his first career home run in the bottom of the 13th inning, and the Milwaukee Brewers beat Miami 1-0 on Sunday, shutting out the punchless Marlins for the 3rd consecutive game. Miami has gone a club record 37 innings without a run, the longest drought by a major league team in 28 years. The Houston Astros were held scoreless for 42 consecutive innings in July of '85, according to stats. The Marlins haven't scored since Derek Dietrich drove in 2 runs in the 4th inning of a 5-2 loss in 10 innings to the Washington Nationals on July 14th. Luke Scott and Kelly Johnson hit back-to-back home runs. Evan Longoria also went deep, and the Tampa Bay Rays survived a late scare to beat the Toronto Blue Jays 4-3 on Sunday, completing a 3-game sweep. The surging Rays have won 13 of their past 14 games and 20 of their past 24. After starting the season 14-18, Tampa Bay is a Major League best 44-23 since May 8th, and that's the day in sports.
Folks, that does it for 15 News Now. Thanks for joining Dustin and me. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time. Until then, have a blessed day and evening, everyone, and God bless.
When you see news happening in your area, let us know about it. You can call our news department at 573-701-9590 or email us at news@DawkinsBroadcastGroup.com.